Great, and I think then we can start. So welcome everyone. We are so thrilled to have you all on board. I'm still admitting people. Okay, all right, so then welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we'll cover the onboarding session, the onboarding for mentors of the PreCycle Innovation Challenge 2023. All right. So first, we want to thank our sponsors. Those organizations made it happen. So we are very thankful for continuous support of Department of Ecology, Washington State Microprise Association, King County, Washington Recycling Development Center, Port of Seattle, Washington State Department of Commerce, and Impact Washington. And thank you so much again for participating at PreCycle Innovation Challenge 2023. As we mentioned, Seattle Good Business Network and Zero Waste Washington partnered to create this program to support circularity in Washington. And this year's teams are coming from Washington State and beyond. We have many teams representing different sectors. And we are very excited to convene everyone and to match our teams to wonderful mentors like yourself. And we are really excited about all this knowledge and experience that you will share with our teams. So thank you so much. And first, we'll cover the timeline of the program, and I will highlight key dates for the program for you, just for you to be mindful of what's to come. So we are in March. Last Monday we had the deadline for applications for our teams, and from them and now, we've been connecting with teams, trying to understand their needs and also the ways to serve them the best way possible. And this coming Friday we'll have a teams onboarding session. You are more than welcome to join, and we'll share the access details and Zoom links after today. So you're more than welcome to join if you want to meet some teams, but we will be making introductions with the teams starting next week. So you should expect that email with introductions next week. Then throughout the April, we'll have our 5-week program. And as you see, some of the weeks have 3 workshops a week, some of them are 2. If you want to attend any of the workshops, you will have access to it. And I want you to look at the March 20th industry networking session. So that was the session that I was mentioning. That will be a session where we'll bring together in the same room mentors and all the teams, but also the outside experts, and we're putting everyone in different breakout sessions, breakout rooms, depending on their industry, so that there some organic conversations will be happening, questions will be answered, and so that will be the space for all the teams to connect on one industry, all the mentors to connect and meet each other. So it will be like one virtual big networking session. We're also planning for an in-person networking event, and those details are yet to be disclosed, and we'll share them as soon as possible when we have some details on hand. So you'll have in total 6 weeks to connect with your teams, to share as much as you can, depending on your capacity. And after the program, we asked our teams to submit 2 deliverables. And the due date for the deliverables is May 3rd. After that, we'll have a 4 days judging round. So if some of you also submitted an application to be a judge as well, we'll touch on that a bit later, but that's basically the dates for the judging round. And later, when judges provide their scores and feedback, we'll share them with teams, and teams will have 3 days to review their propositions, and those revised video pitches will compete at the final day on May 15th. That will be a big innovation summit and a pitch day together. And we will have like we'll have 5 teams from each track competing that day. Again, the teams will not compete in person. We will use their video pitches to lower the pressure and to provide some really nice quality content also for attendance. This day will be open for public, so everyone will be able to attend, and you are more than welcome to, we'll invite you again and again to attend and to see your teams present. That day will also include a live Q&A session, so judges will be able to ask teams questions, and that part will be live. And this slide summarizes everything you need to know to access everything that's coming. Again, this Friday, March 24th, we'll have an onboarding session for teams. You're more than welcome to join, but we don't expect you to. Then you will have access to the complete curriculum of the program. It will be hosted on our website. And that particular page for the curriculum will go live by this Friday, and you'll need a password to access the curriculum, the days, the times, the descriptions of the workshops, and Zoom links to all of the workshops. Then, as I mentioned, the industry networking session on April 20th, and this is the handy link for you. If you want us to send your calendar invite, just let us know. We'll do that as well. And again, you're invited to join us on the summit on May 15th. And Sydney, please take on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to also mention again that all of these slides will be accessible to you after this. So if you're wondering how to get these links or where to save these dates, you'll be able to go through these slides directly on your own time as well for a refresher or to find those key dates and links. But now I want to talk a little bit about the expectations we have for mentors in PreCycle. So right now, Zenia and I are wrapping up the matching process. Teams and mentors are going to be matched based on the mentor's expressed area of expertise on the application that each of you submitted, and the team's product idea, industry, or topical area that they indicated needing the most assistance on. So that's the criteria around which we are matching y'all. And you'll be getting emails starting on Monday, the 27th, with those batches. So just flagging that as the date that you should be expecting to see the team that you are matched with. The time commitment for a mentor looks like 3 1-hour meetings program. So able to meet more than 3 times, that's your team will probably love that. If you are unable to meet 3 times as a minimum, just let us know, because we'll want to keep you on as a mentor, absolutely, but we also provide extra support for that team. My connection's a little unstable. Did I cut out at all, or are we solid still? Just like a thumbs up if I'm good.
You're going slower and you're good. Even if you're breaking up, you're covering.
Great. All right. So if you're able to meet at least 3 times, amazing. If not, just contact me or Zenia. My email is sydney@seattlegood.org if you have not already received an email from me. And so that covers the commitment piece of this. On ethics, we're going to be communicating something very similar with teams, but the idea is that as a mentor, we hope that you will support the vision, goals, and values of the team's project, collaboratively taking the context and background of both the project and the team into account when providing suggestions and connections. So remember that this is not a one-size-fits-all approach. As I'm sure all of you are aware, every startup is unique. We have startups from both not only across the state in both really rural and really urban areas, but we also have some folks who are in Vancouver, BC, a couple out-of-state teams, but it's mostly around Washington, but it's a diverse array of what Washington looks like. And we have teams that are, we have teams that are about, I think half of our teams are women-led, about, let's see, yeah, and then about 20% of our teams are rural. And then we have a lot of immigrant-led and a lot of BIPOC-led teams too. And so with your team, just, try to connect with what their values are behind their product and encourage that to shine through. We'll be telling the teams to also be respectful of your guys' times and your values, and to approach this in a fun, collaborative spirit. For managing expectations between you and the team, we hope that you will all just be able to communicate with your team what your time availability is, how they should be reaching out to you, and then we will be having the teams coordinate with you when and how to meet, whether that's phone calls, Zoom, days and times, all of that biz. So if, however, you find that your expectations for how working with the team, it's just not going right, please do not hesitate to contact me at Sydney at Seattle Good once again, so that Zenny and I can take a chance to work some stuff out. So if you run into any speed bumps, make sure to let us know. So then next steps, what's coming at you next? We will be sending a follow-up email that has this recording. We'll also shortly be sending out an electronic NDA before the end of this week. We want this NDA to just be out there before you guys get connected with your team, so that you have a chance to sign before setting up meetings with the teams. The NDA is just there to protect the projects and privacy of the teams. So that's just something that we're flagging. It'll be coming soon. Just quick signature. Try to do it when you see it in your inbox. March 27th, team introductions. So once again, keep an eye out for that email on the 27th. We'll in a moment be showing all of the teams that we have with their short descriptions. So if something catches your eye, or you go back through this and there's a specific team that you would like to connect with, we can put you in touch with them in addition to the team that is assigned as your mentee. When you are in touch with your team, you do not need to keep me and Xenia in the loop. You will just do the connection, and then you guys don't need to keep us CC'd in all your emails, and you don't have to let us know every time you guys meet. So that's connecting with teams. Once again, flagging that April 20th date. If any of you wanted to go ahead and get your calendars out or your ledger out and just write in April 20th, 5 p.m. Pacific time, you are not at all required to attend, but it'd just be really fun and exciting, especially for the teams, to see all of you amazing, thoughtful, smart, experienced people, and be able to have that chat. So it'll have all of our teams, all of the experts who want to come, and it'll be broken out by subsector to hopefully foster some great connections and create that space in this online setting, which we've all been on Zoom for a while. We know it's a little tricky to do that. So active participation is appreciated and encouraged. Last but not least, judging support. So many of you indicated that you would also be interested in judging, or may also be interested in judging. And so if you indicated both an interest in potentially mentoring and or potentially judging, I will be giving you a call just to work out if you would like to be both a mentor and a judge, or if you need to be doing one or the other. So I'll be giving you a call if that sounds like you. I can drop my phone number in the chat right now if you want to save it ahead of time. So here is my phone number that I will be calling you from. My name is spelled with a Y.
And a quick note that if you are participating as a mentor and a judge, we'll make sure that there is no conflict of interests when you're judging. So we'll make sure that you're not judging the team that you've been interacted with.
Yes, thank you for clarifying that, Xenia. So absolutely, of course, if you are being both a mentor and a judge, we will, for clear reasons, not have you judge your own team. So it's still totally possible if you want to do it, and there's not really an overlap of the time commitments on those either as roles. So this is hard to read. I'm not expecting any of you to process all of these right now, but this is the development stage set of teams that we have. There are 21 of them, which is incredibly exciting. You'll be able, once again, to access this later. Read the
And Sydney is saying
development stage team.
Sydney, we lost you. But we will share the slides with you and you'll be able to read the short description of all the teams. And if you want to get connected with any of them, we'll be more than happy to make an introduction. And this year, as mentioned, we have two tracks, development and ideation stage. And so those 14 ideas are just at the beginning of their way to develop these ideas. And again, we'll share with you the slides so you'll be able to read them. Thank you, Sydney. You were breaking up. We lost you.
I saw the little notice, yeah.
Yes.
But I heard you cover everything I would have said, so fantastic.
Great. Okay, so now we are at deliverables and judging criteria. As mentioned before, we ask teams to submit two types of deliverables, and first is a two-pager. It's a one-pager on two sides, so it's a two-pager. We're not giving teams any particular format or template for this two-pager, but we are giving them judging criteria, so they know what they will be judged by, and they can use those judging criteria and work backwards. And these two are the examples of the winning teams one-pagers, two-pagers. The second deliverable is a up to 3-minute pitch video presentation that we ask them to submit. And this will be the opportunity for them to tell their personal story, to cover the areas that is hard to cover in just words and numbers. And a great advantage of this year's program comparing to last year's is that we are able to provide a professional videographer support. Outside of the workshop, when the videographer will share all the tricks and tips how to make a video pitch, teams will also have an one-on-one support with the videographer to produce those video pitches. And I will quickly take you through the judging criteria. So first, criteria covers the waste streams and materials. And judges will look into how prominent the waste stream that teams and their ideas are addressing, what's the potential volume of the impact, and if teams thought about viable metrics around environmental impact, some greenhouse gas emission reductions, and so on. Second is feasibility of the business or idea. Basically, judges will look into if the team has a good understanding of the market, how to build their product or service, and also what are the basic financials for their business. Third is a social impact. Judges will look into how the idea or a solution is positively impacting or is accessible by historically underserved populations or rural populations. Fourth one is scalability. Judges will look into how the idea is able to scale or be replicated in different geographies. And lastly, innovation, how the team is taking a new approach or stepping into new geography for their idea. And those are the weights. You don't need them right now, but that's how the weightings of those criteria are being distributed. So then, yeah, in the end, all the scoring will be automatically calculated to see who are top 10 finalists for this year's cohort. And obviously, teams will be participating and competing for some prize money. And this year we have 4 prizes, one for each of the tracks, development stage or idea stage. We'll have an audience favorite. And this year also Seattle Office of Economic Development kindly provided 2 tickets to a Circularity 2023 conference that's coming up in June. So they kindly provided 2 tickets to 2 teams of their choice. And we'll quickly summarize the next steps for you. Sydney?
Yeah, and so this is just that same next step slide from before, but we just wanted to give you the opportunity to see these dates again and finish with some reminders or flags for upcoming things. So once again, we'll be sending this onboarding session out as a recording along with these slides, so you can view this as a packet. And with that, we will also be sending out to the NDA to sign. We do ask that you sign it before you meet with your teams. So that is why I recommend just signing it as soon as you see it in your inbox, making sure to have it signed before the 27th when we start making those connections, so that you can just go ahead and start trotting with your team. Pretty exciting. So then, yes, keep an eye out for those connection emails on the 27th. Just, make sure your email notifications are on that day if they're normally silenced. And on the 20th, that is once again the date that I would love for as many folks to save as possible for the industry networking session, just trying to bring that fun, collaborative spirit to the online space. And once again, if you indicated that you might be interested in judging as well, or judging as an additional role that you mentioned in your application, I'll be calling to see if you want to do both or one or the other. So those are all the things to be keeping an eye out for in the coming weeks.
And I'm muted. We have a question on the offline networking opportunities. And yes, we are developing an in-person networking session for the end of April. More details to come. We just received our team, so we need to understand what is their capacity to come and what's the best time. So we'll be reaching out with some information. How many mentors will a team have? We will have at least one mentor per team, but then teams will be more than welcome to join, to reach out to us to say about their additional needs. And as we mentioned, we are now having those conversations and communication to understand where else they need support. So we will have some ad hoc support to all the teams, and if there is any connections we can provide additionally to that one mentor, we'll do that. And yeah, the floor is open for questions. Looks like we covered everything so clearly and well.
Hey, Ksenia, I don't have a specific question. I just wanted to give a little bit of feedback from last year. I did serve as a mentor and a judge last year, and I would recommend those of you who signed up as mentors to do both. The judging was really fun. But the mentoring, I had a team that only reached out to me twice in my term as mentor. So they didn't really ask me for a ton of help. But I also shared the idea of the team that I was working with some coworkers to sort of do a little group think on how to help them, put their idea together, to give them some questions and some ideas. And now that we're signing an NDA, is that okay as long as we, I guess, don't put it in the front page of the paper?
Yes, well, absolutely. When teams are sharing some information with you, we ask them to also not share any sensitive information, and it's their responsibility to share some very confidential information. And if they do so, they need to mention that is not for public ears. That is one. This year, we're also asking teams how interested they are in mentorship, in the mentoring opportunities altogether, for us to also understand what to push for. Because I mentioned at the beginning of the session that for some teams last year, mentorship was such a great match, and they said that was the best of the whole program. So teams are different, their expectations are different, and this year we're trying to understand for ourselves what's the best way. And if there is also you would want to provide more time and more opportunities, please reach out to us if you have more time. Maybe we'll find a team that will be a bit more receiving on their end. Adrian.
Hi, thank you so much for organizing this, and very organized and good presentation about all of this. I just want to ask about whether all the teams have received the invite for the next cycle Circular Accelerator Pitch Showcase. Great.
Yes.
And then, if possible, could you put up the slides with the teams again? I was kind of curious.
With what?
The slide that you had
Oh,
with
with
the
teams.
list of
Okay.
teams.
Yeah, and we have two slides. One is with the teams on the development stage, and the second slide is on idea stage. Do you have any particular preference?
I was just looking through, so
Okay.
not yet.
So yeah, we have
We'll
teams that
just
are
leave
covering.
this for a second.
Yeah. And we will try to share the slides tomorrow, the first thing in the morning, depending on how recording will be processed. So we'll put up the video on YouTube and we'll share all together with slides and recording. And Andrew, I'll be happy to share to send you this list right after the meeting.
Thanks.
All right. Do we have any other questions?
I see that Scotty asked if we can share this list. I think in our email, we can just share the list as we have it on these slides, or you can find it in the slides once we share them.
Wonderful. Then you know where to find us. Our emails probably is already in your inbox. Please let us know if you have any other questions, if you have any hiccups or along the way and along the work with your teams, and let us know how we make this experience a bit more pleasant for you. And if you have any suggestions, where our ears are always open for recommendations, thoughts, and suggestions. So thank you so much for taking the time meeting with us today. We're really, really thankful for everything you will do for the teams this year.
Oops, sorry. Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I just typoed in the chat. So I'm probably one of the more unusual coaches, I'm guessing, that you have, because I specialize in English as a second language. And I work with other people who only speak English. But do you need coaches who just help evaluate them at the pitch level? Because sometimes people won't reach out to me because they are intimidated by that piece of what I do. So if you find that you have a need there, let me know.
Absolutely.
I don't have to be plugged in there. I was just offering that. So
when we had our teams apply, we asked them for their needs in functional areas, and page training was one of the areas that we asked if they need support on. So we have a really good understanding who needs that, or at least who thinks they need that.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. I just wanted to throw that out because sometimes teams won't. I've done this before, and sometimes teams just won't reach out to me because they don't want to go there. So, okay. And then we're supposed to wait for the teams to reach out to us, basically.
So once we put you in touch, you're more than welcome to reach out first about just, hi, lovely to meet you. Here's my general availability. And if you wanted to check in, you can, but we're putting the expectation of who is it who has to set up the meetings on the teams themselves. So that is not something that you're expected to do, but you're more than welcome to send a little friendly check-in email. We're not going to stop you from doing that.
Yeah, no, I know. Just reconfirming. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. Great. Thanks.
Great. Any more questions? Wonderful. Then Aaron, we have Aaron with us. He is an executive director of Seattle Good Business Network. Heather, Aaron, do you want to close the meeting?
Do I want to close the meeting?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, if I'd known, I'd have a poem or something. I'm sorry I came late. I just want to thank you so much for participating in this. This is, as I think you know, the second year of doing this in collaboration with Zero Waste Washington. And the year prior to that, we did the Circular Innovation Challenge on our own. And I will say year on year, it just gets more streamlined and more organized, and the quality of the program gets better. And I just very, very grateful to have all of your participation, and excited to see these proposed projects. Gives one hope in these times to see all these great ideas. So thank you so much for being here. How was that?
That was good. Thank you,
Beautiful.
Erin.
Thank you, Erin. All right.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Have a lovely evening, everyone.
Thank you.
And-
Thank you so much.
And does any